was a crazy month, and it was such a unique set of circumstances. As we know in this business, very few times does a head coach retire. The one thing that we had to do is we had to be patient. And at the end of the day, we had to find the best leader.
Steve Keim, guest number 1 on the last day of Newsmakers Week 2018. It's next on 98.7 FM, Arizona Sports Station.
Good. How are you? Good to see you.
Yes, what are you doing? Is that like some Russian kettlebells or something you've been doing? Lean. That's good.
Steve, 5 years ago, you did this, right? You did this. You came in as a brand new general manager. So what does it mean to you to sign a 5-year extension?
Aside from the stability for my children, which is the obvious probably for all of us that we work for, I try to get emotional here. I don't know if there's another GM in the NFL that started with the organization that he's with, especially at the ground level. So this job isn't a paycheck for me. It's a passion. You know, growing up in the business as a scout, particularly on the road, I mean, really you come up as an independent contractor where at times you don't feel like you're a part of the team. There's nobody that I respect more than our scouts. Their information is really the lifeblood of every organization.
First and foremost, I'm responsible for evaluating the top players, you know, coast to coast and everything in between. So, you know, I'll go to any school that has a prospect, big or little.
There's certain sacrifices that you make for your organization.
There's a lot of planes, there's a lot of airports, a lot of driving, and not a lot of sleep.
You're a nomad. You know, you can be on the road up to 200 days a year.
I've often woken up and not known what city I was in or what school I was in, and you kind of have to wake up in the morning, you know, rub your eyes, and then just kind of have a little bit of a refresher.
Puts a lot of stress on not only your body, your mind, but it also pulls you away from your family, and in a lot of cases, your children.
When you're in the middle of Mississippi, and you know your son won't go to bed, and you know your daughter won't eat her vegetables, and you know you're doing FaceTime discipline, and you know your wife's trying to get things done, and you're trying to get things done on the road. It's tough, but you have to have a strong wife that understands the job and that's willing to deal with all the little things that come up with it, and luckily I have that.
I didn't feel like it was a necessity that I had to be in Mobile, although, you know, it was tough not to be there. For the first time in 19 years, you know, not only was it important that I stayed in Phoenix and, you know, assisted Coach Wilkes and in the hiring of his staff, but you know, it also says a lot about our personnel department, the trust that I have in those guys. And through the years, one of the lessons I've learned is being able to delegate.
On behalf of our Reese's Senior Bowl organization, the City of Mobile, Mobile County, welcome to the 69th Annual Reese's Senior Bowl. We talked to the players earlier today and then the group that arrived yesterday and talked about the first impression that they can make from a personality standpoint, because look, when we go into these schools, you rarely meet the player.
They get the best senior prospects available in the country. You get to see, you know, the best on best. You get to see small school guys play against big school guys.
Go, go!
Not bad.
The interview process starts. You know, we don't have that opportunity to spend time with guys in the fall during their season. Now that season's over, we're able to get to know these guys more on a personal level, kind of tie up any loose ends that we may have run across through the fall, and just start figuring out if we want these guys to be Cardinals.
The teams haven't had a chance to talk to really any of these players, and so now they get that chance to have the face-to-face meeting and decide, is this someone that we want to represent our franchise?
Just a bunch of 32 tables, and you just kind of go from table to table and rotate, so that's basically speed dating.
Josh, is there something specific you came into this week trying to prove?
I'm a prove I belong, and you know, there's a lot of skepticism, you know, about the type of player I am, and you know, where I come from, University of Wyoming, obviously. So, getting out here, playing with the best of the best, and you know, showing I can, you know, make all the throws and understand offenses in the NFL. So that's the main reason I'm here.
And what makes this event so unique to me is the small school guys that come here, and you get to see them compete on this stage. And some guys weed themselves out, some guys rise to the occasion. And so that process is huge.
It's been fun. You get to learn different concepts, and it's all ball. You don't have to focus on doing any more papers in your college career, so you get to focus on doing something that you really love.
You look for those guys, the outliers that stand out, the guys who are first in line, the guys who are hustling down on special teams, the guys who are just bouncing around. They genuinely look like they enjoy playing the game, they have a dying passion for it. Because at our level, I mean, it's a job, and if you don't love your job, you're going to struggle.
Roughly, I get up probably around right about 4:15, 4:30. Try to get out the door about 4:45, no later than 5. I have one of these sayings, it's like 86,400 seconds in a day, and I'm trying to take advantage of every second. So just really like trying to get up early and get my day started. Big routine guy. Love trying to get up early and get me a workout in. A lot of times I feel like if I wait too late, I get to work, there's so much stuff to do, and you get overwhelmed with the day-to-day routine of just work itself. So I like to try to get in and really have a little bit of free time, and then get my day going from there. Once I get to the office, it's really a lot of checking up with emails, prepping myself for certain meetings I may have that particular day, getting ready for the staff. But love trying to get up early and get a great start.
Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. Very exciting time for the staff and I. All the coaches are in place. The coaches have been working extremely hard in trying to implement the system in all 3 phases. We've had some very productive meetings the last couple of weeks with college scouting, pro personnel, really trying to map out a detailed plan and a strategy for us moving forward and how we want to attack free agency, most importantly, the combine and the draft.
Is the search for quarterback kind of the holy grail for a general manager?
I think it's the holy grail for an organization. I think everybody in this organization, for the most part, the success of their career in some way is attached to their franchise quarterback. If you don't have one, you can't find one, a head coach and a general manager's stay is usually not very long. As simplistic as that philosophy sounds, it's also extremely tough because there are 32 teams and 32 guys don't exist that are considered franchise quarterbacks.
Really excited about all of our quarterbacks. Obviously, Baker and Josh Allen are 2 headline players.
I think every position in itself is unique, but quarterback's obviously extremely important because they handle the ball every play and they make decisions.
Probably the hardest position in all of professional sports to evaluate. There's only so many human beings on this earth that can play that position at a high level.
The arm strength, the size, the anticipation, ball placement. I mean, there's a lot of things, but aside from that stuff, you look for leadership, guys who are passionate, tough, maybe guys who don't have the strongest arm or have some detriments to their skill set, but they can just find ways to win.
I think the thing that makes that position unique and really difficult is there's so many things that go into that position that you can't see from the film you evaluate. Leadership, toughness, how he prepares every week. And that only comes from being around him as much as you can, talking to people that have been with him his whole career.
Finish. There you up.
This step up from the college level to the NFL level is difficult, especially if from the time you're in Pee Wee football until to the day you get into the NFL, you've never been in a huddle, you've never called a play in a huddle, you've never made a check on your own, you've never called out a protection.
I can handle the NFL playbook. I can call a play in the huddle. I've operated under center before. I can make the certain checks at the line. I can mic point, all those good things that come along with making that transition from college to the NFL.
I want them to know that I can understand football terminology. Obviously, coming from Wyoming and not playing against the greatest competition week in and week out, I don't think that has anything to do with football IQ. And I want them to understand that I have a high football IQ and I love this game. There's one thing about me. I do love the game of football, and this is the only thing I've ever wanted, for my entire life, is to be an NFL quarterback.
Football's everything, it's, led me to be a better man. It's challenged me. It's made me face adversity, learn what I'm all about. It's brought me some of my best friends and brought my family closer together. This is what I was meant to do, was throw a ball and be out here and be around the guys and lead.
It's through the interview process. It's through learning about these guys, what their mental capacity is. How tough are they? How are they going to be able to handle when you do put them in uncomfortable situations early? How are they going to handle that adversity? Are they going to be able to bounce back?
You're the general of the offense. You got to keep everybody in line, and it's your job to know everybody else's job. So details, notes, just being very diligent and doing the little things right. That starts with the quarterback, on any team.
Toughness, mental and physical. I mean, you touch on the ball every play, something bad's going to happen, and you're going to get hit a lot. How is he going to be able to handle when bad things happen and the physical pounding he's going to take?
I mean, the guy's got to be the toughest guy on your team. There's no question about it. He's got to be mentally tough. He's got to be physically tough because he's going to get hit a lot, and he's going to be faced with adversity. There's going to be cameras in his face, and they're going to be asking him a lot of questions after every win, but after every loss as well. Getting to know the quarterback from a mental standpoint is huge.
I'm just here to play football. I'm here to show that what I can do and interview well, and just show the teams that I'm the right guy for them, and that I'm the franchise quarterback.
You take all the pieces to the puzzle. You kind of digest everything, take a step back and make a decision, but there's a lot that goes into quarterbacks.
Coach Steve Wilkes, Arizona Cardinals, joining Doug and Wolf.
Coach, anything new on the Larry Fitzgerald front, by the way?
It's funny that you asked that question.
Why was that?
Because I spoke with Larry last night, and it's a very exciting time for all of us. To all the Arizona Cardinal fans around the world, it's very exciting because Larry mentioned to me last night that he is coming back for the 2018 season. When you're trying to get a staff together, you have to bring people in that believe in your philosophy. And I got a coaching staff, number one, that are great teachers.
The part of this process that is so important for us is now to get to understand what they can handle mentally. Because in today's day and age, and I've said this many times, we miss more on the person than we do on the player.